Welcome. If you're just now joining in, which you would be because I just now started, I think I see some stripe out here that I'm going to start throwing to. I don't know. I keep seeing minnows busting. I decided why not give it a try. So I thought I'd show you this one because I just caught it off camera. So let me get it back in the water real quick. And it is gone. And I mean gone, gone, gone. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to set some things to the side here, get my little camera stand. It keeps gusting really strong winds, so you're going to have to kind of be patient with me today. We'll see what the wind's going to do for us. I've got to put like an extra thing on my phone, make sure it doesn't fall. Oh yeah. Well, let's plug this in. Hey Grant. Let's get this microphone plugged in. Let's try this again. Okay, I'm hoping that works this time. Well, hello. I see quite a few large fish under me. Hey, Grant. And I just caught that stripe you just saw on an underspin. And so, I don't know if I can catch another one, but I figure, why not? Let's try. So, that was a pretty good size one. And what I might do is I'm having to kind of use the wind to my advantage. And so what I'm going to do for a few minutes is, can I turn this way? I'm just going to try turning this way. I saw quite a few fish right here behind me. Let's see how far back you can see. Sort of back towards that orange thing, and then even further downstream from there. I kept seeing little fish popping on top of the water. Hello there, Stony Sloth. How are you? Yellow. Hey, if one of you wouldn't mind, would you let me know if my mic is coming in loud and clear? I'm still kind of trying to get familiar with how this thing works, and I hope it's sounding okay. If you saw the photo on this live, you saw a fish that I just released. It was at the very beginning of the live. I don't know how far they delay these videos. Oh, well, I don't know if that was a hit or just a rock. It kind of felt like a hit. It has gotten really cold again here. It's not necessarily so cold, but when you add the wind in with it, it's yuck, put it that way. But I caught let's see who we have here. Oh, well, hi everybody. Let me know where you're from. I am trying to catch more of those big stripe. I don't know if you happened to catch this the other day. I fought a fish for an hour and a half because I thought it was a very, very large species that I've never caught before. So I really took my time, and I had 10-pound test line. Well, it just turned out to be a rockfish, which is what I've been after forever. Hello there, Alfie. Trying so hard to catch one. Well, I finally did. And I got that one in, and if you were watching, you saw I lost my connection there for a minute. And everybody was upset, including my own wife. She was even upset. She's like, what in the world? Did you just fall in? What's going on? So, no, I didn't fall in. It just, for some reason, it stopped. So here's what I'm up to. I'm sitting over here again where I had been catching stripe, and I'm kind of just watching, and I'm noticing a lot more activity today. And I think a lot of what I'm seeing is smaller fish, but I know somewhere with the small fish, there's always going to be a little bit bigger fish. And so that's what I'm doing. I'm just kind of trying to see, is there anybody out here that might be hungry enough to eat this? What I've got on right now is an underspin. I'm not crazy about the rubber fishy little thing, the lure that I'm using. I'm not too crazy about the lure that I'm using. Boy, there's a bunch of fish just keep going right underneath the boat, which makes me wonder if I need to scoot down and fish right here. But just a minute ago, I threw back here. I'm going to turn you kind of where I'm throwing. That's where I've been throwing, is that direction. And like the second cast I threw in that direction, I caught a hybrid stripe that weighed probably 1.5 pounds, maybe. So I'm going to throw back here some, and then I'm probably going to just kind of slowly let this thing come in. Can you all hear me okay? I have 8 folks watching. If you don't mind, if you can hear me okay, please let me know. I've still got this new mic. I'm trying to work out all the details. I just want to make sure that it's working okay. So let's see, what do I got to do to catch some more of these hybrids? Let me throw way back here. There were a bunch of little fish splashing on top of the water a few minutes ago back here behind me, and I had been fishing further up. Hello, Chilling with David, thumbs up. Oh, that felt like a tap there. I definitely think I just had a tap, but they were right here behind me. It just keeps getting really windy. It's hard to see. In fact, right where I threw, one just popped. I don't know if you would have seen that or not. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to throw this back here behind me and do what I did when I caught that last one, which was I was working it fairly slow. See, that felt like a tap right there. This water's 10 feet deep. See, there's another tap right there. That may be little small stripe, something smacking at it. I may downsize. Oh, that was a hit. Okay, I think there's something small in here. I'm going to do this again because I got several taps. And it could be all kinds of things. It could be stripe. It could be shad. My brother caught several shad in here the other day. I threw kind of far away from the bank. The wind keeps changing, so your view keeps changing. I think, let me see. Let me look around for a second. Yeah, that's so interesting. My trolling motor is telling me there are fish literally between me and the bank right here. And I'm trying to figure out what would that be. Those little yellow stripe, maybe? I mean, it's telling me there's a bunch of fish right here. So what I want to do, I'm going to let the current sort of carry the boat for a few minutes. You don't have much of a view at the moment, do you? Let's switch this around so I can at least talk to you all. Hope everybody's having a terrific day. It's Wednesday. I left work 20 minutes early, maybe. Try to get out here. I filmed probably 30 minutes before I even turned on the camera and stuff. I was really just kind of trying to look around. And I see there are a bunch of fish underneath the boat right now. I wish I knew what those were. A little stick of dynamite, we could find out, but I don't do that. Man, there are so many fish under the boat. Here in a little while, I'll probably change y'all's view. But I have a feeling whatever this is that I'm seeing, that's what's tapping the... I do see that I've drifted into a little bit deeper pocket right here, or a deeper area of the water. So I bet you some of these are just fish laying in that water that have no intention of feeding. I just saw something else down here. I'm going to scoot back over here for a minute. Hope everybody's doing all right for Hump Day Wednesday. I hope everybody had a good one. What kind of excites me about today, if any of you've been watching me fish right here, is I don't really start seeing much activity until pretty close to dark, and then it all happens all at once. Well, the fish were kind of moving as soon as I got here. We do have a pretty nasty storm headed in. I don't know if that's what's going on. Yeah, see, I just think I saw another small one jumping back there. I'm gonna try a couple of different techniques. Oh, see, there's another one jumping right there. I know that can just be bait fish just jumping around. It doesn't necessarily mean that they're being chased, but it sure does give you hope. All right, I'm gonna throw this. I'm gonna let it sink for a minute. the current's kind of pushing me that way, and then I'll get just a little bit further over here and it starts pushing me this way. See, there's several of them jumping over here. I know y'all, that's not helping you any, you can't see that. But they're pretty far away, the ones that I see doing that, and I just don't know if it's worth trying to show you what I see or not. I'm going to downsize. Well, I'm going to try a couple things. I'm going to downsize to a smaller Keitech. I thought maybe I had found the trick right here because I caught that one so quick once I switched over to this, what do you call those? The little jig, an underspin, little jig with an underspin. I switched over to this and I had a few taps pretty quick, and then I caught the one that you saw as the photo for this video. But right now, the fish are real quiet again for some reason. All I gotta do is figure out where they is. Oh, it's overcast, it's supposed to rain, it's windy. There's another one right there jumping, and there's another one. I wonder if they're just having a party. Maybe that's all it is. I don't know. That one was moving on pretty good, like it was his life or nothing. I'm gonna let this kind of sink down. Check my drag. So weird, the boat's just kind of sitting here. One minute I take off and go this way, and the next I go back up this way. I'm just barely reeling this. I know when this water gets cold, sometimes these fish get really sluggish. Now that I've backed out of here a little ways, I see more fish between me and the bank. I see a whole bunch of bait fish. So that's probably what's going on. They're not necessarily being eaten. There's just so many of them. Maybe they're just having a party. Whoa, 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 I just had a hit. I guess the ones I'm seeing are really small. I don't think they would hit this underspin, but what do I know? I've got one looking at it. Well, okay, I see a big school of fish down here. Excuse me, bait. And there definitely are some fish that are kind of just hanging with them. So I think what's going on is these bait fish are up in here in this slightly warmer water. This time I'm gonna go really slow and try to go under the bait ball, because I definitely see some fish that are kind of watching this bait ball. We'll see what happens. I think I'm reeling too fast. Yeah. Well, there was a little one kind of following my bait. All right, let's downsize for just a minute. Of course, I would be tangled up in another hook. Heaven forbid. It just all work out perfect. All right, I've switched over to a little 2.8 Keitech, and man, I just literally threw it about 14 feet in front of the boat because I see a ton of fish in here, and I'm just going to reel it really slow and just see. They may just be really lethargic because it is cold. This is the weirdest thing, just being able to just sit here even though it's really windy. Let's throw it out this way. Yeah. I think that's a bunch of bait fish. And they're just a mix of a little bit bigger fish in there with them, from what I can tell. I'm going to go down here a little bit further where it looked like there was more action than where I'm sitting. I'll just have to try a couple of different things. I mean, some of the fish that are going under the boat are not small, so there's always hope. All right, there was one jumping right beside you. Probably, well, not quite, but you almost could have heard that one splash. I think these are shad, and they're small little thread fin. There's something. I got something right there. Let's see what this is. And I wasn't even reeling. What is this? I was sitting on the bottom. Whoa, 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 whoa. I'll be right back. Get up here. Get up here. This is probably a big hybrid if I had to guess. This thing's got some weight on it. Whoa. What is this? I won't be fighting you for long. Oh, wait a minute. Oh my gosh, this is a huge largemouth. Oh, wow. Well, to me, it's huge. I know some people are going to laugh and say, that's not a largemouth. Oh, yeah. Holy guacamole. Look at this. Look at this dude. Oh, sweet. Thank you, Mr. Bass. Look at this thing. Isn't that pretty? Hey, D. Galasso, look what hit. This is the USS David Galasso largemouth. He's got a little injury on the side of his mouth. But what a pretty fish. This is a good 3 pounds. Probably a little over 3. I should weigh him, huh? Let's see if my scale's even in here. I gotta, oh boy, he is fighting me like crazy. That is so bizarre. I couldn't catch a bass if I had to when I'm trying. Oh, where are you at, scale? I never expected to catch a bass. I thought I was gonna catch a little bitty stripe. Golly, this may be more like 4 pounds, if I'm being completely honest. There's my scale. Okay, hold on. Okay, give me just a second. Yeah, was not prepared. All right, turn you on. Okay. Cool. All right, let's see. Here we go. Let's find out. Oh, there's 4. Hold on. I'm trying it. Be still. Be still. 313, 314, 314, 3 pounds 14. I'm gonna go with 3 pounds 14 ounces. All right, cool. That's so cool. All right, thank you, Mr. Fish. Say goodbye. Going back in. Oh man, what a fish! Golly bum, golly bum, I love it. Ha ha ha! Dang. Turn my scale off. I'll keep my scale a little bit closer by. Oh my goodness, Paul. Crazy, man. I go after stripe, I catch a bass. I go after bass, I catch stripe. I sit down at Burger King, catch disease. Ha ha ha! Just kidding. Well, I'm going to be doing that again. All I did was throw this out there, and then I just kind of let it sink down towards the bottom. And I lifted up, and it felt tight. And I was like, what's up with that? This is a very light jig head. And so I just kind of letting it sit here, kind of just waiting to see what it's going to do. There are quite a few fish. I did come back down some from where I started, so I'm going to go back up this way a little bit. How exciting is that? I'm wondering if it's just a bunch of small shad and these fish are just under them, in them, on top of them, below them, and just waiting. They're probably, I've always heard as it gets cold, these fish get lethargic. And so maybe some of them are just chilling and they're waiting for an easy meal. And by that, I just mean, if you're just floating on the bottom and a minnow that's half dead comes flying by you, it's going to be hard to pass that up, right? Now the wind's blowing me towards where I want to fish. Oh yeah, there's a bunch of something in here. Now there could be some crappie. I've heard there are crappie up in here. I've already got my fill of those lately. I've got some in the freezer. And so right now, okay, I've got a little follower, small, little bitty thing. What is that? I'm watching this tiny little bitty thing. Okay, come up and get it. Come on. Come on. Something actually came up and pecked at it. Those are pretty small, apparently. Let's try this. Golly bum, that was so fun. That just made my trip right there. I go for a lot of days without catching a bass, especially one that's 4 pounds or right at 4 pounds. It hit 4 pounds once and then it kept going 315, 314, 315. Oh yeah, I see some fish in here. I'm trying very slow, just reeling really slow. It's basically what I did that time. I bet you a lot of this is shad. There are so many of them, it's hard to believe. Oh, well, dang it. I stopped and just talked to y'all for a second and it felt like something thumped it. I'm gonna do this again. Yeah, I'm going right over whatever it is. There are hundreds. There are what appears to be hundreds of fish under the boat. Oh, here's that wind. I hope that you're not really hearing it because I have the mic inside my jacket and I have the mic. The other day, even with it outside my jacket, you all weren't hearing the wind, so that's always a good time. There are so many fish right here. What is this? The final on my stripe was 17 and a half or 18 pounds. It actually, the first time I weighed that stripe, it was 19. And then we fooled around with it for a minute. We put it back in the water to make sure it didn't die, and I weighed it again, and it was weighing 17 and a half to 18 for the final two weights. I would have said all day long it was 30 pounds, but I haven't caught one in a while, and it was a little bit harder for me to pick up a fish that weighs even 15 pounds straight up out of the water. I was convinced, man. I'm like, this thing's huge. It wasn't huge, but it sure looked huge. I wish I had measured it, to be honest with you. I'd love to have taken a few measurements. Give me a break for just 1 second. Hopefully you're off mute now. Okay, so now I'm drifting. I'm a little bit too close. Golly bum. I bet you those are, what I'm seeing flipping, I think are fairly small shad, because there's hundreds and hundreds in here. So what I'm after are those fish that are in here preying on them. I see all the little stuff. Golly bum. It'd be so easy. So easy for big fish to come in here and just fill up. There's so many of these things in here. I'll try a variety of places right here to see if I can find any kind of concentration of them. There's a little flip right there. I'm getting hungry. It's nowhere near time for din din yet. Oh, okay, starting to see some bigger fish. I see you all. I see you and I hear you. Positive affirmation if you want these fish to hit. I see you and I hear you. Hopefully I still got a signal. Uh-oh, looks like I may have lost some of my signal, if not all my signal. Hope y'all can hear me okay. Let's see, what is this? Right cheer or something. Go from, let's see. Well, if you just tuned in, I just caught about a 4-pound largemouth. Right at 4. It was within an ounce or 2 at the most of 4 pounds. There's one. I got another one. Let's see what this is. Let's see what this is. If this is a largemouth, I'm going to be cracking up. It sure fights the same as that largemouth did. It's going back here on the left side of my boat again. What do we got? Oh, I think it's a hybrid, but I've only caught a small glimpse of it so far. I think it's either a rockfish or a hybrid. Hang on just a second, we'll see. It's fighting, golly bum, it's fighting harder than the largemouth did. Oh, come here, come here. Oh, what a pretty fish. Yeah, boy, I'm struggling with how to identify these. So I don't know. I mean, this thing right here weighs 3 pounds probably. And I want to say that's a rockfish. Oh, here comes a strong wind. It almost knocked my camera down. What do you think, that's a rockfish? It's just a small one? I believe it is. The lines are all straight and continuous. It's a good 2.5 pounds. It's got a real big stomach. Ugh. I'll let him go, but there you go, man. You just gotta love it. These things are in here just chowing on this bait fish. Let me get him back in the water. Oh, that's what it's all about. This cold water finally has got them feeding again. I mean, they had all but just completely stopped eating. Dang, that's cool. Hope somebody got to see that pretty little thing. The wind is going crazy. Oh, come on. The wind's trying to, apologies for all moving around. The wind has actually almost knocked my phone over twice. Yeah, I think what it is there's a whole bunch of bait fish over here along this wall. And in fact, I think what I'll do, I'm going to turn you all around and give you a view of what I'm fishing at. I don't know, maybe you'll enjoy this. And now I'm just really going to have to watch. There's a very strong wind right now. Golly bum, it's strong. I'm here, but it is very windy. We're having gusts upwards to 25 miles an hour today. So I'm absolutely going to have to stay all over my phone. But at least now you're kind of watching where I'm casting. I'm hoping that I've just happened to have found a school of these things just all laying right here, because if I have, I'll be able to catch several before I gotta go. My boat's just sitting here. It seems like I'm getting my best bites when I throw this in and just kind of let it start sinking down towards the bottom. This Keitech's torn up pretty good. I'm trying to decide when will it be time to swap it out. I'm sitting in 10 feet of water, and I see fish everywhere from the bank to all the way out here underneath the boat right now. I'm going to try another very slow reel just to see what happens. Super slow. Barely even moving. Okay, now I'm going to throw behind me. I'm going to let that sink for a minute. The wind is pushing us around. Yeah, there are fish all underneath the boat, which tells me that I'm going to have to stay a little bit further out. I'm going to mess the spot up if I don't stay off the bank a little bit. I believe that the small ones are hanging out on these rocks right here, and the big ones are just right in here with them, chilling out. So, at least from what I can tell, that's my story. I'm sticking to it. Where's everybody from? I'm determined to catch at least one big striper with you all on live at some point, but they're not that easy to catch. All the times I've told you all I'm here fishing for them, I've caught one so far that was actually a big one. You know, the one I caught the other night was large. But for the most part, I've caught these 3 and 4 pounders. But I don't know. Here's you a poll. Here's a question for everybody. Would you rather catch one that weighed 25 pounds or 10 that weigh 3 pounds? That's a tough one for me. I'll turn you back around. The major wind gust died down for a minute, so hopefully I can relax a little bit. I may switch up also to a little bit heavier jig so it'll drop faster. Maybe I can get their attention a little bit more with that. Well, I'd love to catch another one of those bass. I can see some. Actually, there were some looking at my bait when I picked it up just now. It was just sitting down there. When I lifted it up, I saw several kind of come up with it. Let's see. Yeah, I'm digging how many fish I'm seeing for it to not be so late this time. Let's see, I've got 5:30. It's supposed to rain pretty soon. I mean, it could actually start sprinkling any time now. Woo! There's the wind again. All right, come on, guys. So I've caught one largemouth on a 2/8 Keitech. I've caught one, what I'm saying is a striper, it's just a small one, on the same Keitech. And then I caught a nice hybrid. Golly, the wind's blowing. I caught a nice hybrid on an underspin. And the underspin just had some generic little baitfish looking swim, what do you call them? Swim bait. Had some little generic swim bait. Okay, I'm going to toss this in front of the boat. Also, I probably, to be honest, should switch over to a new Keitech. Golly, the wind's blowing. I hope y'all can't hear that wind. Jeez, it's loud. In my ears, anyway. All right, occasionally I'll see something big go underneath the boat. I don't know what it is, but there's definitely a few big fish in here. Wind. I can't stand fishing in the wind. I hate it. It's one thing to have just a little bitty light breeze. It's another when it actually starts to blow your camera out of the boat. Let's see. Gosh, that bass was beautiful. It's so funny because David said, go bass fishing. And I did. I did decide to come down and start throwing some smaller things in hopes that maybe I'd catch one. It looks like I did. I'm kind of just throwing this out and almost dragging it on the bottom. One good thing about dragging something on the bottom like that is you might catch a catfish or drum also, and those obviously get really big. Okay, no more hits in the last few minutes, even though I see the fish underneath me. So I'm going to switch over to a different size for a minute. Let's see. Let's go with, golly bum, the wind almost knocked me down. What's on this one? This is my underspin. Yeah, this is the underspin. Kind of like the tail that's on this. It's a little paddle tail. But the reason I'm kind of liking it is that underspin makes it look more like a small shad, sort of like the ones they're feeding on in here. We'll see. I'll throw it in here, I'll let it start to sink, and then I'll just slowly reel it in. I'm watching a whole school of something just between me and the bank, just sitting over here. You people up north, I have heard, are getting some crazy amounts of snow, or already did, one of the two. We saw about a dozen snow flurries, and that's about all I can do to sympathize with you all, empathize with you all. Come on, fish, where you is? I'm wondering if they actually could be working back behind me up onto that rock flat that you all normally see me fishing on. That's a possibility. It's because it's getting to that magic hour where they start doing that. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go over here to where when I throw this, I can bring it down in about 10 feet of water, 8 feet of water. That's kind of where the fish are hanging out. And it'll be in their face a lot longer when I do it this way. Okay, so you all can kind of see that way what I'm doing. I'm throwing towards that doohickey. Now, right now I'm having to get off the bank. The wind's going to blow me into the rocks. Trying to figure out where these fish are. I'm having a hard time figuring out what depth the bigger fish are hanging out in. I've caught them mostly in about 10 feet of water, I think. But then when I'm sitting out here, it seems like I keep seeing them in front of the boat, and that's shallower. I'll tell you what I'll do. I'm gonna give this a minute or two, and then I'm going to turn and actually start going back out towards that point. You know, it's pretty windy when you are rocking in a boat and it's just waves, not any other kind of boat or anything. Well, doggone. I really thought we were going to get into them here for just a minute. Okay. Let's see. I caught two of those fish just by throwing it and letting it sit. So I'm not going to rule that out as a way to try to catch them. I'm going to turn this way. I'm going to try throwing down this direction, and that's right into the wind. So I'm not going to be throwing very far this way. But what I'm going to do, I'm just going to kind of start looking in front of me back towards the point where I normally fish to see what I see. Like I said, tons of fish. See them right under the boat. Okay. They just don't want to play. See, there's a bigger group right there. Let me get this somewhere closer to where those are. I hit the stand. Sorry if y'all heard a big thump. Let's see. I saw a pretty good looking school back here behind me. I would think some of these fish, if not all these fish, would really be in the mood to scarf down some food. At least that's my theory, because this nasty storm that's coming in is going to be here for a couple days. It's going to be pouring down the rain, windy, everything that keeps people off the water. At least it keeps me off the water, I'll tell you that much. But I would think these fish would be up and feeding really well. So far, I don't guess I could say that that's the case. In case you're wondering what we're doing, we're just looking around to see if we can find the fish. I mean, I thought I had found a bunch of them right back here, back that direction. See how much I'm rocking in the boat? And that's not another boat, that's just the wind. Oh, there was a hit. Oh, come on, man. Something thumped it, but when that starts happening, I'm always tempted to downsize to a smaller Keitech. Let's see what we can do. Oh, is anybody on here? I have one watcher. I appreciate you watching. Let's see. We got a few more minutes. I don't have a lot of time because it's so overcast. It's going to get dark sooner than normal, and it's extremely windy, so it's getting cold pretty quick. I do have my hand warmers. Woo! Boat is rocking. I'm probably making you all seasick. I'm sorry if I am. That's certainly not my intention, but that's just what it's like out here right now. Another interesting thing is I was throwing a jerkbait a little while ago, and I had 0 hits on that. And with them in here feeding on this bait fish like this, I would think that would be a very good bait also. Currently just kind of looking around. I will say this, I'm tired of rocking up and down as if I am somehow competing in some kind of race against a bunch of other giant boats or something. All right, I've moved even further out. Okay, now I'm starting to see some action, so let's see. I'm starting to see a few fish. So let me see if I can get this into them and whether they're interested at all in hitting. They're shallow, they're not deep at all. And there's quite a few of them. That normally is a good sign. There they are. They're up in 6 feet of water. They just don't seem to be interested yet. I've got a Damiki Vault on here on another rod. Everybody's doing all right. He's got a daytime job, he's doing all right. Don't give a darn. Got no trumpet playing band. It ain't what he calls a rock and roll. We are the Sultans. You're Sultan, play Creole Town. Okay. I see lots of fish. I'm getting ready to start throwing that jerkbait again. If they don't start acting up, or if they don't start hitting this a little bit, I'm seeing some decent sized fish in here. So now it's just a question of are they going to start getting active as it gets dark. I'm not going to fish till dark like I have been. It's just too cold. They're just sitting. I think maybe they're just up here taking advantage of this warmer water. I don't know. Caribbean Queen. What we got on here? Hope y'all are doing all right. Oh, there was a little tap. Nothing. I'm going to keep trying to I'm going to cycle through what I do have on. No. I forgot I even had this. This is a 3.3 Keitech. I wish I'd found this a little bit quicker. I saw the rod, but I didn't see the bait that was on it till just now. This is more like what I was wanting to throw further down there. I'm just going to creep this along. We'll try that approach. You have to reel so slow to keep these jig heads. They're like 1/8 ounce. And boy, you have to reel them super slow if you're going to try to keep them down near the bottom. I do see what I think might be some crappie right here. Those could be responsible for some of the little weak hits that I got. Let's see, let's try it out there. Right there, those are decent sized fish right there. Man, oh man, these fish are playing hard to get. I guess I'm going to go right back where I caught that bass and that other one, because even though I see fish in here, they just don't look active at all. I see plenty of fish between me and the bank behind me that I've got you pointing at. Tons of fish right here, but they're just chilling. There's got to be something in that group big enough to say, "Oh, I see your Keitech, and I raise you a mouthful." Nothing. Yep. They're starting to get up and move around. That's exciting. That usually... Uh-oh. Was that just the bottom? It felt like a hit. Okay, that might be the bottom. I think that was the bottom that time. Let's see. Starting to see a little bit more activity. He's got a daytime job. He's doing all right. Do, 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 do. I don't give a damn. Whoa! Oh, dadgummit. I just had a hit. There's another one. Oh, I got this one. I got this one. Okay, I had several hits that time, just kind of letting it sit there. Not a big fish. It's a real small fish. And this could explain what I'm seeing under the boat. It's not a yellow bass. It's either a little baby hybrid or something. It's got a big mouth, so I know it's not a little yellow. Well, it could be a little yellow bass. It's cute as a button, whatever it is. It's so tiny. It's so tiny. It's just a baby. Just a baby. Okay, that's kind of cool because I had several hits before that actually got on there and stayed on there. Maybe, just maybe, this is the trick. This is a, I don't know if it's a 1/4 ounce head, but I don't think it's an 1/8 ounce. Let's say it's 3/32. I don't know. But I had several smacks on that before it actually got it and went with it. Let's see, am I in shallow water, deep water? Hey, there's some of those fish again. There's plenty of these fish right out here. Let me see what these do when I bring this little Keitech right over their head, nice and slow. Well, not super slow. It's not real slow. Nothing, nothing, nothing. Man, oh man, let's see. All right, so far, if you're just joining in, we have gotten right at a 4-pound largemouth. Oh, there's a fish. There's a fish again. I just threw it and let it sink. Excuse me. I was just letting it sink. And that's twice now that they're hitting it on the drop. It's another one about like that last one, if I had to guess. It's going to be pretty small. But hey, at least I'm catching something. It is. It's almost identical to that last one. If I didn't know any better, I'd say it is that last one. His mouth is about the same size. Same thing. Little bitty cool thing. That's just a baby. Okay, so they're definitely starting to pick up. I have not caught many fish that small in here, just to be honest with you. Most of the ones I've been catching in here are considerably bigger than that. I see a bunch behind me too. So do I turn around and fish deeper? That's the $50 million question. I'm wondering if I do turn around, because the ones behind me are looking bigger for sure. Let's try this. I'm going to throw it behind me and just slowly bring it through a group of a little bit bigger signatures that I see on my gosh, what am I trying to say? My live scope. I've lost my mind. Oh, well, I don't know if that was the bottom or a fish. It loaded up for a second, but let go instantly. Don't feel anything at the moment. Let me turn around just a little bit. I'm gonna kind of turn around and get back sort of where I normally sit and maybe put spot lock on and then just keep you all with me, because the fish that I know are going to be, oh yeah, there's a bunch of them out here too. The fish that I'm seeing that are actually where I want them, set up how I want them, and are a decent looking size are actually out here. And so I'm going to throw this in there and just kind of let it drift with the current. I'm going to get the boat turned around. I'm going to get to where I can keep an eye on these without getting inside the group. I'm really bad for that. Okay, right there is a pretty good group. Where are you guys? Right there. Oh, the wind finally calmed down some. Man, it was getting cold in here. Just going to kind of lift this up and just barely move it along. I don't see a ton of fish, but the ones that I do see are in a great location. Right there. I think they're moving up to start feeding by the looks of it, but you know, I really don't know. There's no way for me to truthfully know what they're doing. Okay, nothing. I'm gonna go back out here right there. That's the ones I'm after, right there. Both of my remotes for my shallow water anchors have dead batteries, which makes sense because I would have bought the same pack and put in them. How we doing here, folks? Hope y'all are all right this evening. Oh yeah, see some out there. I like the looks of right there. All right, guys, let's go. Let's give them a show. What do we have so far? We have two of the small ones, we have a 4-pounder, about a 3-pound strap. Uh-oh, that was a tap. So I got about, what, 5? 1, 2, 3, 4. I think I've got 5 fish, if I'm not mistaken. My boat is sitting about halfway on this rocky flat that I keep talking about, and I'm throwing out into about 10 feet of water. I feel like, I know some of these fish are up here shallow, but some of them, I hope, are still out there kind of deep. I'm trying the method of just kind of throwing it out and just letting it sit, and I don't really see much happening that way. So okay, I'm going to toss this back out here pretty quick where I see a few. And this time I'll just kind of, oh shucks, what'd you do? What have I done, Paul? Had the rod all messed up there for a split second. I saw some fish and I wanted to see how they would react about this jig being right in their face, but I kind of messed that up. Kick back into these rocks that are behind me. Oh man, there's definitely some fish out here. Come on. If I start seeing any of these bigger fish actually start coming up off the bottom, moving in a little ways, I could start trying to throw a jerkbait at them. I may have to do that anyway to get them to actually hit something. Nothing. I don't want to sit here all night. Let me try the jerkbait real quick. Oh, let's see. Where'd you go, jerkbait? Now, I've got my jerkbait on a much heavier duty rod because the last time I hooked a big strap, one of the 2 times I've hooked a good strap was on a jerkbait. And so, should one actually decide it wants to come up and play ball, this time I'd kind of like to have the right rod ready. Oh, that hand warmer feels so good on my hands. It's kind of drifting. Ah, here comes the shallow water, y'all. I'm going to put you all back where you can just kind of watch the lake. I'm going to switch you around to where you're kind of looking at what I'm seeing, maybe. The jerkbait that I have on is a full-size jerkbait, and so these probably not too many of these little itty-bitty stripe that are in here will come after a jerkbait quite this size. There are plenty of fish in this little section of water, believe it or not, to say, you know, you could potentially catch a 30-pound striper right here pretty quick. My boat is blowing right up into shallow water. Dadgummit. Just saw a good mess of fish. I had to go right over the top of them. What do we got? 6 o'clock? Does that sound right to you all? Yeah, there's a real pretty group of fish right there. I love that sound. Hope everybody's doing all right. Got a little bitty fish right in front of the boat jumping. There it went again. I just wonder if there's something chasing it. All right, let's see. Yeah, there's plenty of big fish in front of the boat. They're just not interested in hitting it. Man, there's one group out there that looks really good. Everything about it is perfect. Man, there's so many fish out there in front of the boat right now. I was thinking maybe one of them would hit, but nothing. Okay. You know, that bass I caught earlier could eat this bait all day long. This is, I mean, a perfect size bait for a fish that big. Nothing. Everybody's quiet this evening. I can't even see what the screen says. It's kind of washed out. Okay, either these fish are just not wanting something that causes a reaction bite, or I'm completely missing them. Come on, guys. I've got the live scope going so I can keep an eye out there. Still looking for a good group to kind of suddenly start coming up and feeding. Maybe I've seen plenty of small fish in here. I just can't seem to find the good sized ones yet. Okay, nothing there. Feel like I'm almost feeling a little bit of raindrops. Not sure one way or the other. Okay, I'm gonna go back to this little bit heavier jig. Hello there, Camo. You missed me catching almost a 4-pound largemouth. It was so pretty. I'm starting to see the fish get active, of course, now that we're almost too dark to do anything. Nose is running because it's cold and the wind is blowing. I caught several striped there for a couple, several minutes apart, but then it just stopped. Completely stopped. Okay, guys, what are y'all doing? I know you're still here somewhere. I'm gonna go up here in this shallow stuff. Let's see. Oh yeah, I see them. They're kind of all over the place. They're out there on the drop. They're up here in the shallows. I've always heard if you've got a nasty front pushing through and you're about to have a lot of terrible weather, the fishing gets really, really good. And at least I did catch a few, but man, you talk about the perfect scenario. I mean, it's about to get disgusting out here. It's going to be really nasty weather. In fact, I'm probably within an hour of some pretty good rain, if I had to guess. But let's just see. We'll keep trying for now. These where I'm at are just not really wanting to play. So I think what I'll do is go back over here. Go back where I had been. I did catch 2 smaller stripe a few minutes ago. I wouldn't mind catching one of those if nothing big wants to play. I do see that I have gone kind of far back compared to where I wanted to be. I'm going to resituate the boat just a little bit. If you see stuff flying by. I appreciate y'all dropping in to say hello. I know there are 4 trillion channels right now you could be watching. And instead you're on this one watching. So thank you. I appreciate that. I like catching fish and then dedicating them to the person that joined in the most recent. So that bass I caught was the USS David Galasso. I'm going to slowly head down that way to see if there's any more of those striper bass hanging out where that one was. Well, these things just don't want to play this evening. What are you guys doing? Come on, man. So if I catch another one, it's going to be the USS Camo Plays. If I catch another one. I see some good fish right here. Let's see if I can get any of these to react. Yeah, I bet what I'm looking at right now are crappie. There's a bunch of them. It kind of looks like they're gathered up on a tree or something. I can't quite tell, but no interest in what I'm throwing, which is just a 3.3 inch Keitech. They easily could take this. All right, let's look around a little bit. My nose is running. Is your nose running too? It's colder than a zoo. What can I do for you?
Zoop dop a doo ba doo.
Promise I haven't lost my mind though. Sometimes you would think I have. I think I probably caught my two best fish so far. Just throwing this and letting it sink to the bottom up here where there's a whole lot of bait fish. Yeah. As I'm floating down through here, I'm starting to see more. Unfortunately, sometimes when I see them, I'm already too far past them. I'm reeling super slow. I am a trooper, a super duper. Ooh, yeah. La 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 la. Lonely, super lonely. La 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 la. La 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 la, lonely, super lonely. Yeah, now that I'm back down here where I caught that bass, the fish are pretty active down here again. I guess I'll just stay here for a few minutes and see if any of these are interested in feeding. These things can be so picky. Hello there, Wanda Mitchell. Hope you're doing all right. Caught a few nice fish earlier. I caught a largemouth that was close to 4 pounds, just really close to 4 pounds. I caught a strap that weighed probably 3. I caught 2 hybrids that were probably, one of them was probably 1.5 pounds. I'd say they both were. And then I've caught 2 small strap. Nothing big, but now that one big one, I gotta tell you, that was pretty. That largemouth definitely was pretty. That made my trip right there. It doesn't take very many big fish to turn a trip into a special trip. I don't catch that many decent sized largemouth, so any that I catch, just yay, it's amazing. All right, so I'm back where I'm at. I'm going to kind of point this where I'm fishing. I'm throwing towards that orangey red thing. And the reason for that is when I got here earlier, I kept seeing fish flipping around between me and where that's at right there. And I didn't really pay too much attention to it, and I finally came up here and finally started fishing in it and started catching some stripes. So I thought the little minnows were just playing, but they probably were actually running for dear life. So I'm throwing, I threw right at that orange stuff. Ricky Bobby, yo, what's up? Ricky Bobby. Ricky Bobby, you missed me catching almost a 4-pound largemouth. He was within 1 or 2 ounces of being 4 pounds. Beautiful, beautiful fish. And in fact, you could always go back, I guess, and watch. It was probably close to an hour ago, maybe not quite. I threw this Kitech out there and was just letting it basically drift on its way to the bottom, and I lifted up and there was pressure on it, and that's all it took. Bunch of crazy wind. So there are some serious bait fish up in here. There's some just behind us. So we're going to give them a few minutes to see what's going on. I'm kind of throwing this. I'm trying all kinds of stuff. I've been keeping it on the bottom. I've thrown it and just let it sit. I've reeled it above fish. I've reeled it below fish. I've reeled it super slow. I'm getting quite a few hits when I throw it in front of the boat. I'll show you. I just now threw towards that. Let me get you up where you don't have to look at all that stuff. Shoot. Let's see, how can I do this? Can I do that? Nope. Can I do, let's do this. Well, doggone it. There we go. Unfortunately, I've been just letting this sit. I hope it's not tangled up. Okay, it's not. But I'm throwing towards that orange thing. Just reeling super slow. I've only got a few more minutes. I'm not going to stay on here super late like I have been lately. Oh, there was a hit. There was another hit. There's one. I got one. Okay, I got one. He hit 2 or 3 times before he committed to it, but I've got one. Oh, golly bum, he's lively. Let's see what we got, man. It's not huge, but it's not small. Let's see what we got. Come on, fishy, fishy. Get up here. I wants to see what you looking like. I know the trick now. I'll throw it out there and just let it sink and then slowly bring it towards the boat. This fish is actually putting up a really good fight. Oh, it's either a hybrid or a rockfish. Hang on. Oh, it's pretty. Heck yeah, man. Golly bum, these things are so pretty. Yeah, buddy, that's what I'm in here for. Hold on. It's not like he's giant by any stretch of the imagination, but it's so much fun to catch him this size. Let's see if I can get him in here without breaking my line. Yeah. This is, oh, there we go. Hang on, I'll get him up here for y'all. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. I'm calling it a rockfish because it looks like a rockfish. Is it a rockfish? I think so. It's just not a huge one. But in a few years, it could be huge. You know, got a nice little stomach. I'd say close to, I mean, it's definitely 2.5 probably pounds. But there it is, man. That's the small version of what I'm after in the big version. And I think they're in here just wearing this bait out. So let's get him back in the water. Thank you, thank you, thank you. My pants are trying to fall off, for crying out loud. That's never a good thing. Oh man, I'm gonna do that again because I think there's an entire school of these things in here doing that. I just was reeling it so slow, man. It was bam, 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 and then finally that one got it good. That might be the trick, because I'm kind of just drifting down this way. And as I'm drifting down through here, I see so many fish under my boat. It is insane how many fish there are under the boat. I'm going to back up here just a little. I think I was in too shallow. Just going to throw that out. It was windy. It's trying to blow up on my head. Oh, that was a hit. Is that another one? Let's see. Slow. Ooh, I thought I was about to get another one. I like all those little fishies. That was the USS Camo Plays, if I didn't tell y'all. I'm trying to name all the fish I catch after somebody watching. So next up we got Wanda, I think, and then we've got Ricky Bobby. See if we can catch the USS Wanda here. Let's go. Let's go. Come on. I'm just a loser. There's some big ones behind me, but they're in this little low area where the water's really deep. And so far, I've fished in there a bunch, and they just sit. They don't hit anything. Those are probably big old carp, maybe. All right, here we go. I'm back in the spot that I think's holding some fish. Going so slow. Occasionally, I'll just let it sit. Just let it sit. That's kind of what I'm trying. Oh, there was a hit. Oh, there's another hit. I think, the wind just keeps throwing me right on the dang bank. Let me get this out here. I think these fish are literally sitting here 20 feet off the bank, just crushing these bait fish. Yeah, because right now there's so many of them going underneath the boat. Hello, Tony Hamilton. I think it's Tony. Yeah, hi, Tony. We have been having a blast. We've been catching, we've caught rockfish, we've caught hybrid stripe, we caught one largemouth that was right at 4 pounds. I'm not sure how accurate my scale is. The other day in here, I finally caught an actual rockfish, and I admit, I thought it was 30 pounds. The first time I weighed it was 19 pounds, and the second time I weighed it, it was 17 and a half. So, you know, I thought it was a monster. I hadn't caught one in quite a while, so it was kind of a shock to me. But golly bum, it was so fun. In fact, I can't remember what I put as the photo for this video. It might be the striper that I'm holding. I can't remember. Let's see. It's funny, sometimes it's just bam, 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 hit after hit, and other times it just cannot get them to hit, save your life. I feel like where I'm sitting right now is too close. The wind, again, just throwing me in the bank. I could lock down with the spot lock. The problem is, because it is so windy, it just makes an absolute ton of noise because the motor just runs nonstop. And I'm trying to not necessarily be super loud in here. Okay, I've got this out there in front of me. There are fish underneath my boat like crazy right now. Again, I think they're not the biting kind. I think it could be a whole bunch of carp just sitting in, there's a real low area right here behind me. And I think that it's just a bunch of fish sitting in that. I pretty much have fished and fished and fished and can't seem to get anything out of it. All right, we are after the USS Wanda, and I'm determined to catch it. Let's go. Come on now. Here we go, right into the bank again. Cannot keep my boat off the bank, for crying out loud. I think, let me see. Yeah. I'm going to just back up. You're watching me back up right now. In reverse. Okay. There we go. I'm trying to kind of find that sweet spot where I kept getting hits a second ago. I thought it would be right here where I'm sitting, but I just don't I'm reeling so slow. Pretty much should just barely be off the bottom, if at all. Let me cast this again real quick. Let's try this. And then I'm gonna turn around and fish back this direction towards those rocks that I've been fishing on. I want to give that just a few minutes, and then I'm going to get out of here. But some of the best fish that I've caught in here have been up there when I've been sitting in 3 feet of water throwing into about 6 feet. No hits, no hits, no hits. These fish are so funny. Now there's a good group of them right there. Let me see if any of these will hit. They are right here, 8 feet of water between me and the bank. There's a school between me and the bank. I'm throwing right into them, hoping that they can't resist. But so far, they're doing pretty good at resisting. Let's try this up there a little bit further. These fish are sitting in some shallow water. I almost wish I could get in there in the water and see what all these things are because of how they're sitting in there. It's so cool. And you could just about probably stand and just look under the water and see these fish. They're holding right on the bank. Let's throw it. I'm gonna switch back and throw it up here towards this little flat and see. Sometimes they come in there this late in the day. Oh, it's getting ready to be yucky. I would think it would snow, but it's going to just be rain. Nothing there. Let's go. Let's see. So the place I'm catching my fish tonight is definitely over here. So that's exactly where I'm going to go back. I'm going to go back over here where I've caught my 2 biggest stripe and that largemouth bass right over here. And it's just taking a little bit of time between the different fish that I've caught. So just have to be patient. I'm talking about me, not you all. All right, let's see. I'll throw this out here. What I really wish is that these fish would hit a jerk bait. I absolutely love fishing that way. I'm reeling really slow, and I'm getting back to that area where I caught that largemouth. Doesn't necessarily mean anything. It just means I'm getting back to that area. Okay, nothing right there. Stayed out here the other night fighting that fish for, hey Chevy man, I fought that fish for an hour and a half because I thought 2 things. One, I thought it was absolutely gigantic. The second thing was that I was convinced it was going to be a sturgeon. And if not a sturgeon, one of those giant paddle bills, neither of which I have caught. And so I fought that thing forever. Hey, Mingos Management. But in case you weren't here earlier, Chevy or Mingos, I caught an almost 4-pound largemouth. It was absolutely beautiful. And I found this little spot right over here, kind of where I'm sitting right now, that I caught 2 nice stripes. Oh, there's one. Hang on. There's something. Let's see what this is. I'm gonna stay right here because this is where I'm catching all my fish this evening. They're not big, but dadgum, it's fun. This is not as big as the last two. Let's see what it is. This is going to be either a hybrid or a regular stripe. What are you? That almost looks like a crappie. What is that? Oh no, it's a stripe or a hybrid. At least we call them hybrid. I think somebody on my channel calls them sand bass or sand stripe. Oh man, he busted up my. That's about the third one of those for tonight. I'm gonna let the boat sit right here if the wind's gonna blow it up there. But anyway, that's about the third one of those that size. And I think I've got their number now. I know where they're hanging out. This wind, come on, man. I am sitting right on the bank. Well, doggone it, that messed up my jig. So I have learned, all I gotta do is throw this out here. Not be impatient. Reel it slow, and I'm catching them each time. 37. That's what I thought that big fish was. I really did. I thought I had a whale. Oh man, come on now. Get out of the... I am right in the mud, man. Give me a second. Ah, dang wind. I was telling people earlier, my batteries are dead in my shallow water anchors, and I've currently got them. I mean, I could always redo them and connect them to the front unit, front graph or whatever. I just haven't done it. I'm gonna see if I can get one more of these, and then I'm gonna have to get out of here. This little spot that I have found, well, it's not gonna work because it keeps tearing this Keitech is gone. Let me switch to, I was catching some fish earlier on an underspin. And so let me try this again for a few minutes, because maybe they're just wanting flash. Let me get back up here and point the boat. Because maybe, just maybe, they'll hit this because it's real flashy. And I would think they could see it pretty good because it's a little bit dark. But I am going to have to get out of here pretty quick. There's one right at the boat. Right at the boat. He's not small one either. There's one. Okay, that last one was the USS Wanda. This is going to be the USS Tony Hamilton. This fish, wow, this is not a small fish, man. He's fighting. I threw this and I was reeling it in and I stopped. Yeah, this is another rockfish, I think. It's just small. Okay, are y'all going to eat this for me? I would think they would eat this like crazy. This is about like the other ones I've been catching. The other one's a little bit bigger than this one. But here's what I'm calling a rockfish. It's just small. Woohoo! Isn't that pretty? 2.5 pounds or so. How pretty. Thank you. Thank you, fish. Okay. Ha ha ha. That was on the Keitech. Or excuse me, not a Keitech, on an underspin. I'm gonna do the exact same thing. I reeled it and then I just stopped, and when it was sinking I felt the thump. Reel it and just let it sit. See if we can get another one. Maybe they're hitting it because I'm moving it and they think it's a minnow just kind of fluttering down. I'm pretty quickly drifting away from that spot. Let me get back over here. All right, we're back. Kind of reeling and then just kind of stopping. And just stop. stop, let it sink for a minute. Nothing there. I think a lot of it's just timing. You just happen to be right here when the school of warrior hybrids come through. I'm gonna try reeling it super slow, which lets it, in my case, kind of sink a little and then starts bringing it in, because it seems like when I'm reeling it really slow, I'm actually getting good hits. Caught them 2 different ways today. All right. I hate to start the last cast thing, but I'm pretty much just about there. I'm gonna let this sink and then I'm gonna reel it really, really slow. Depending on that, it's gonna determine on whether I'm out of here or not. Super slow. So let it sit. Slow. The wind and the current are such a funny thing here. Uh-oh, that was a hit. I reeled it and stopped and it hit it. That was neat. Well, you know how that goes. I feel like for some reason, if they hit it, I almost have to stay another minute. I got a little B flashlight this time, at least. That's something. All right. That is going to wrap that up right there. I appreciate y'all watching. If you stuck through it with me, I appreciate it. Let's see. These fish are in such odd places. Mingo's management. Here we go. So this is my last cast. No kidding aside. Catch one, not catch one, hit or not. This is it. I'm getting out of here. All right. Good time to stop. Thank you all.